Episode 11 of the Square in the Round podcast. Chris Kelly here along with BB Shea. Now, when we left off last, I said that I had a really good Academy Award trivia question for you. Because last week we talked a bit about Oscars and Academy Awards. Out of nowhere, we were just talking about movies. So let me see if I can phrase this exactly right. And I looked it up to make sure that I had it right. In back-to-back years, two different movies won Best Picture, and they both have the title of the movie, the last 5 letters are the same in each movie. Does that make sense to you?
Okay.
Like if the movies were Rocky and Cocky or something like that. Okay. So in back-to-back years, the two movies that won Best Picture, one year to the next, they're both one-word titles, and they both have the last 5 letters in the movies are the same.
Okay.
How about that?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Can I ask for a hint?
Sure.
Can you give me the years?
Yes. Well, how about if I say this? It's been within the last 10 years. How about that? So you're probably going to get it now.
Yeah, I might.
You know what my guess was?
What?
Well, you go ahead, and then I'll tell you.
I need to think about that for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to have to come back to that.
My guess was Argo and Fargo, but that was incorrect.
Too far apart.
And they're not the same. They're too far apart, and they're not the same.
Yeah.
Do you like Fargo?
Love Fargo. Yeah, I watched it. I watched that like 2 or 3 times a year.
Great movie.
Yeah, those Coen Brothers movies, man, they're so rewatchable.
I know you're a
love
fan of
them. And I know that you've never seen The Big Lebowski, which still baffles me.
No, I have not seen The Big Lebowski.
Still baffles me to this day.
I suppose I should see The Big Lebowski.
The first time I watched The Big Lebowski, I hated it. I did not get it.
I hear a lot of people say that.
And then I went back and rewatched it. I'm like, oh, this is absolutely incredible.
And then it grows on
you. It grows, and then it turns into this whole thing.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a movie that's done that for me. Groundhog Day. You ever see Groundhog Day?
Yes, yeah.
Groundhog Day, the first time I saw it, I thought, okay, it's funny. But the more I see it, the better I think it gets.
Yeah.
My wife hates it. She says it's a terrible movie.
Really?
Yeah. And, actually, boy, she's tough, too. Last week, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers and his injury, and I was saying to her after that happened, it's just a gut kick to the NFL. She goes, I have no sympathy for him. He's an absolute jerk.
Even Terry Achilles, no sympathy at all.
Her thing was, he's a jerk. Every year he threatens to retire. He goes out and sits in that peyote TP. He didn't take the COVID shot and said he did. All that kind of junk. You taking yours? Have we talked? We've talked about.
I took it, and then
you got it.
Yeah, I got both of them.
Not about this time. I mean, now it's time again.
Oh no, I haven't got the new one. Didn't it just drop?
Yeah,
but shot just drop.
But I saw on TV they recommend you get it.
Yeah.
But I read a stat that only, I think it's like 40% of people even plan to. They just like, we're just going to deal with it. Whatever happens, happens. I had a coworker. This is one of my big flaws. And you know this guy too.
Mm-hmm.
Went home sick about a week and a half ago. When somebody gets sick, I'm always mad at them. I think less of them, for getting sick, which is a real flaw. You know why it is? I don't get sick very often.
I don't either, and I hate getting sick.
Yeah, I do too.
I hate getting sick,
and almost always I work through it.
Yeah.
Even if I do get sick, and so when people get sick and I see it as a weakness.
Now,
and that's really wrong.
I'm sure, but I don't. I feel you to an extent because it always seems like people get sick at the worst possible opportunity.
Tell me about it.
It's the worst possible time to get sick.
Yes.
Now, I'm not trying to take anything away or say that they're lying about it, but sometimes it's just like of all the times to get sick, it's right now.
I know. And you're just like, God, are you kidding me?
Come on, bro.
Now? Can you not just power through? But he was definitely sick.
Yeah, definitely ill.
I looked at him. He's throwing up and everything. I was like, all right, go on home. That's how it is. But I still get angry. That's one of my big character flaws.
I get it.
My wife says the same. Plus, if she goes down, it's like the whole family doesn't function because she does so much around the house.
Yeah.
And she'll be laying in bed. When she got the COVID shot, whenever it was, a year ago, she got sick. I mean, that knocked her on her tail.
Yeah.
And that one, I was like, all you got was a shot. And then I'm just like, what? But and she knows that about me. I really, and she goes, you can't be angry at people for getting sick. It's true. It's true.
I know, but damn it, please, just come on now.
Well, I guess it's a compliment to my wife because, my kids. This is so something. You know how it's cliche when dads will say, "Go ask your mother" or whatever. I never know the answer. Their mother knows the answer. It's like, can I do this? I don't know. Go ahead. I don't care. But you better ask your mother because, I mean, she may have a reason. I don't do whatever you want. I don't care. You know, can I have this? Yes. I'd rather just pay for it or let them do it. You know?
Right. Yeah.
That's how it is.
I don't even have kids, but I know what you're talking about.
That's how it is.
So how's your son doing in college? I know we haven't talked about that in a minute.
Well, very well.
How's that going?
Very well.
His classes are going well. He's adjusting well.
He is. He's made a lot of friends.
Good.
He's come home once, which I think is good because it's been like 5-6 weeks now.
Yeah.
He's come home once. It was great to see him. I think he's doing very, very well. Plus, I'll take this. I think remember I told you that like his roommate asked how he felt about weed?
Yeah.
And he told me that, which I like. Well, now there's another kid doing whippets. You know whippets? You familiar with whippets?
I'm familiar with whippets, yes.
This kid, I mentioned this the other day.
Dude, what? That's such a weird drug to do.
I barely know. Is that where you get like a can of
nitrous?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't even know how you pop it. What do you do?
It's weird. I don't know how it works, but I know what it is.
Now I've eaten the whipped cream straight from the.
It's like you do the nitrous into a balloon, or this is the way I've seen it done. Yeah, it's like nitrous, and then you just suck it out of the balloon like helium, but it'll
really mess you up. I mean, your brain cells are dying.
It's not good for you.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No,
of all the drugs, that's wild.
That's all. He told me. Well, this kid now already they have a shower where you basically it's like prison. You go down there and there's like 8 stalls. You go in. I guess it's probably better than prison because you do have a little privacy.
Of course, yeah.
God, can you imagine a prison shower? Good Lord.
My God,
jeez.
I'm so self-conscious of my body. I couldn't imagine being in prison taking a shower and then having to crap in front of people too.
Do you know? I've worked my body into the best shape it's ever been in. So now I think I could be in prison and not be self-conscious. Now, I wouldn't want to, be in a pound me in the ass prison.
Of course.
You know that. But I feel like I could be in there and at least go like,
you could do a few days in county.
I could do a little. I'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
I don't have a homemade tattoo or anything like that. But I feel like I could take my shirt, and I do shave my chest, and a lot of those guys probably don't.
Do you think you get respect from the other inmates?
Maybe not. Maybe not while shirtless. I'll tell you though, when I look at myself naked now, it's better than it was. I'll just say that.
That's better than it was. Come a long way. Yeah.
If you knock yourself down 50 or 60 pounds,
I could feel the same.
You could really see that. But what was I saying? Oh, the kid does whippets.
Yeah.
All right, and when he goes down to the shower, at this point now, he always forgets his soap, shampoo, shower shoes, and towel because he's done so many whippets.
Everything you need for the shower.
My son says like once a week he'll holler out, "Can somebody go get my shampoo?" And now his roommate's got to go bring him shampoo because he's naked. He doesn't have a towel. And he's not walking down. I mean, it's really an issue. So my son tells us all this. And I say to him, well, you can never do a whippet, son. Yeah. And he goes, well, thanks, Dad. Like he's ever going to do it.
I think it's good that he was sharing with you because I was going to ask, does he hold stuff close to his chest? Does he not, divulge a lot of information?
He does that very well. He's always telling me stuff that, I would have never told my parents.
Sure.
So I feel like we've at least had some success there.
That's good.
And
That's good.
I feel like I've scared him enough that he's not going to do anything too stupid or off the rails. So I'm happy with that.
That's good.
I'm happy
That's
with
good.
that
I'm glad he's having a good time.
Well, I appreciate that. Did we? I'll tell you something else. This is about age as well, and also being forgetful. I don't know if I've asked you your thoughts on term limits or being too old to be in. Did I ask you about this?
No, you haven't.
We had the reason it came up was a few weeks ago for the second time. Mitch McConnell. Are you familiar with Mitch McConnell?
I'm familiar with Mitch McConnell. Yes.
He was speaking on the floor and once again spaced out.
Yeah.
And now, like the average age of the House and Senate, as well as the president, who's going to be 80-something by the time he finishes his second term, if he makes it.
Yeah.
Or Donald Trump is also going to probably be 80 by the time he finishes. Some people are saying that it's too old. We're too old to be in there. Do you think there should be an age limit? Now, you have to be 35 to be president.
Sure.
I think it's 25 to be a congressman.
Yeah.
Do you think 72 is the age?
I think 25 is too young, honestly. I think 30 should be the cutoff. Yeah, 35 for president is fine. No, yes, we need
I agree with you. Yes, I think 25 is too young.
As unpolitical as I am, yes, we need some young bloods because these old folk are so out of touch with what's really going on in the world. I don't think they understand what it's like to be young anymore.
God, that's true.
They're just
Was I seeing one of those guys on and you see this all the time, like when Zuckerberg or somebody who's into social media is testifying in front of Congress, those guys don't understand.
No, they don't understand a thing.
And they'll start talking like this. Why would you type this at symbol? Or, and they don't know. Even as dumb as I am when it comes to social media, I know that kind
exactly.
of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but here's the reason I don't think there should be age limits. Because we have a chance to vote them out every 4 years if we want to. Every 4 or 6, you've got your shot.
True.
Do it. If you got a 30-year-old guy going up against an 80-year-old guy, and you want the 30-year-old guy to do it. Now, our friend Dave, who's very into politics.
Yeah. He
says, "You're right because the 80-year-old guy has so much money behind him.
Exactly.
It's impossible."
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just. The fact that the president is going to be 80 regardless of what happens next whenever, that's ridiculous.
But he doesn't have to be because there's a 30-something-year-old guy running for the Republicans.
Yeah.
Ramaswamy is running. He could win.
We
could do that. We could do if America decided we don't want an 80-something-year-old as president, we could do that.
But I think the as time goes on, and I'm kind of testament to this, I think that the younger generations are just losing so much faith in the government completely that we feel like it's just going to be what it's going to be regardless if we vote or not.
That's exactly how I feel.
It doesn't even matter who goes in there. It's all going to be garbage, bull crap to into it. Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, they started this impeachment thing against Biden. What a waste of time.
For real.
What a waste of time.
Exactly.
We know Biden's not going to be impeached.
No, he's not.
It's like, why are you... It's so much BS up... And of course, this is... This has been said many times, but it really is. There's so much BS when they don't do anything for us.
No,
it's like, why are we?
It's all about the money, bro. It's all about the money.
It's about keeping your job and making money and not serving us, which is exactly what it should be about.
And God forbid there ever be some young charismatic dude who actually cares about the well-being of the people in America. Yeah. He'd be laughed off the stage.
Well, now wait a minute. Do you not think Obama was that? I mean, that's what he really ran on. I didn't agree with his politics, but he was a young, charismatic black guy who won. And I don't think he did a great job. I don't think he could do much, and the Congress cut his knees out at every turn. But he was that. And, before that, Clinton was that too. But
he was,
Clinton was young, and I think they get swept into office because they have that. That's why I think Ramaswamy, if Trump wasn't such a huge...
he's got such a following.
He sucks all the air out of the room.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or Ramaswamy would probably win in the thing. And could run for the Republicans.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I don't know, man. It's hard to have faith in it.
Yeah, it is. It is. I've lost all sorts of faith in politics for sure. Now, do you have an overrated, underrated?
Yeah, I got overrated, underrated for you for sure, man.
I like these every week. BB Shea gives me a. And last week it was flying, and I admitted to him my not only disliking of flying and the fact that I think it's overrated, but that I never really want to fly again. Okay. I would drive anywhere.
That's such a weird
I'd be
thing,
like John Madden. I didn't want
Now, I do think a good road trip is underappreciated. There's got to be a time limit, though. More than 10 hours, I don't want to do it.
My wife wants to go to the California wine country. She wants to go to Ireland. I don't want to go. I tell her go with the girls. I do not. You know where I want to go?
Where?
Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is where I want to go.
It's the last place I want to go.
Some good saltwater taffy. Lay there, read a book, watch the tattoos go by, see the smoking. I'm fine with it.
I was going to ask you
the
about
pawn
the beach,
shops,
but
the 420 shops, all those places. I like it.
What about seafood? How about that? Seafood.
I think seafood is, I'm going to say underrated. I really like it a lot.
For real?
Yeah, do you like it?
I hate it, man.
You don't
I'm telling you, listen. There is no bigger turnoff to me.
Seafood.
If somebody says we're having a party and we're having a low country boil, do you know how pissed off I get when people tell me that? There is no bigger waste of food than a low country boil.
Now, this will be difficult because two people I know, well, my wife's family and then some friends of ours, they love to make a low country boil. I don't like low country boil. I do not.
Stupid. It's stupid. I don't care if it comes out of a bucket and you throw it all on the table. That's the only reason people like it is because you throw it out on the table over some newspaper. There's nothing good about it. It's not filling. That's like showing up to a party full of 10 people and they order 2 pizzas. Stop wasting my time with this bullshit. But I cannot do a low country boil.
I don't like low country boil.
No.
I like the shrimp, okay. I don't like the potatoes. I don't like the, onions. I don't like the sausage.
It's like eating a bunch of sides.
It doesn't have much flavor to
No, it doesn't.
But people always, like you said, they go, oh, look, and they throw it out.
Look at that. Dude, get out of my face.
You better
with
have
that.
a lot of sauce with
give
it.
I'm
not a Low Country Boil fan. I have it and say thank you to the people who make it, but I'd much rather just have pizza.
They're not getting a thank you from me. Hell no. Why'd you invite me over here to waste my time?
But you said seafood. I like a grilled salmon or what about like a fried flounder and calabash style?
Miss me with all that, dude.
You don't like any of that stuff?
No. Crab legs, no.
Oh, you don't like crab
lobster
legs?
roll, no. Miss me with every single bit of that.
You don't like any of that
I don't
stuff?
like anything that comes out of the sea, bro.
Nothing.
I don't even like the beach. I don't even like the ocean.
You don't like
No. If all the oceans dried up, I'd be totally fine with that.
My God, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
I had no idea that you were such an anti-seafood person.
I'm anti-ocean.
But I do agree with you on Low Country Boil.
Yeah.
I think Low Country Boil is probably one of the more overrated foods. Yeah. I am not a fan of that, and I do have people, they love it, and they're like, oh, look, it's kind of like, people will say, we're having Low Country Boil, like it's such a huge thing.
No.
I agree.
I'm gonna bring McDonald's if you tell me that I'm gonna have a Low Country Boil.
Did you see that McDonald's, and I wonder how you feel about this, they have recently, I can tell you're upset by this, they have decided to phase out the self-serve drink machines where you go and get the drinks.
Yeah.
And your thoughts on that?
You know whose fault this is? It's all the people who got a water cup and put soda in it.
You think so?
All these people trying to cheat the system.
Yeah.
We can't have nothing, man. People always got to abuse the system with this stuff. I'm so pissed off about this.
Someone told me recently they went to a McDonald's, they ate in, and next to the McDonald's was an apartment complex. And while they were there, they saw 5 people from the apartment complex just come over with their own glass.
That's what it is, man. Yes.
You don't think it's now because in a post-COVID world...
It's got nothing to do with COVID.
You don't think so?
It's people just stealing. Yeah, that's all it is.
Well, I'll tell you this now. When a friend of mine, a friend of a friend, runs the Chick-fil-A here, owns it. And I don't know him, but he told my friend that when they were closed for COVID, but you could still do the drive-through or the app or whatever, that he was like, I hope we never open again, because he didn't need napkins. He gave everybody one straw. He gave everybody one Polynesian sauce.
Yeah.
You know, there was no refill on drinks. He's like, I'm making way more money. There was no old lady out there scrubbing the table. You didn't have to pay her. He's like, I'm making so much more money. But now I do think fewer people are going inside.
I do miss that, though. I miss going inside and eating at places. I hate that that's not a thing anymore.
It should be.
I miss places in general. Nobody goes anywhere anymore.
You know what I just saw? Used to be people, especially on a Thursday or Friday, in an office at 5 o'clock, be like, let's go get drinks. You know, they'd have like an little office party. What do you call it? Happy hour.
Yeah.
At 5 o'clock. Gone. No. Done. Nobody does it. Nobody wants to hang with their coworkers. They're not there.
Yeah.
Nobody goes into work.
No.
It stinks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of this, our podcast should be called It Used to Be Better.
It used to be better, yeah.
Which is basically my thought on about everything. But that was not when people would eat in, or you go to the drive-thru, and you go out with your friends at 5 o'clock on a Friday. That's nice, you know?
It is.
Nobody does anything.
I think people got that little taste of solitude and being alone. People are like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, but they stayed with it.
Here's the thing. When the pandemic started, I loved it.
Because you didn't have to, you could be at home.
You'd be at home. And it wasn't even the fact that I didn't have to come into work for a while.
Did you come in?
I didn't come in for like 3 months.
I remember that
Then
period.
I got sick.
Yeah.
Like I got tired of not being like I gotta get out of the house.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like those first like 2 months of the pandemic where nobody really knew what was going on.
I remember not seeing you around here.
Yeah. I did not come in. Everybody said don't come in. They're like stay at home.
Yeah.
You know, you guys were the only people who came into work.
But I wanted people to come in. It ticks me off that people are not here now.
No, trust me. If they would have said come in, I would have came in.
Do you know they gave me the radio show? People may not know that if you're listening to this podcast. And they actually gave me, like, signed by the governor, you're an essential employee. Like, if a cop pulled me over.
For real?
Literally. And they gave all of us that. The first 3 weeks, we didn't know what to expect. You know, it's when you'd go into a Target and no one would be there and there was nothing on the shelves.
Yes.
It was such a surreal, like, end times, post-apocalypse. No, they gave me a signed thing from the governor. So if a cop saw me on the road and pulled me and said, what are you doing out? I could say, I'm essential. I'm essential. Like what did I do for anybody during the
4 hours?
What did I do for anybody during the pandemic.
Well, we needed entertainment. I mean, I'm not going to take that away from you.
I can tell you that. You don't get it here.
Well, so like when this whole thing started, when the whole pandemic started, my roommate at the time, his mom works in healthcare.
Yeah.
And it was like literally 3 or 4 days before shit got real.
Right.
She calls us and goes, y'all need to go start packing up on food. Go to the grocery store right now.
Really?
And start buying non-perishable items and stuff because it's going to get
towels.
She was like, it's going to get weird. And so we were we were in there just scrounging up. So everyone was like, what the hell's going on with these guys?
Yeah.
And, thankfully, because you couldn't buy anything.
No,
you couldn't
could not.
do anything. But that first few weeks of the pandemic, I loved it. I would go take walks. There was no haze in the sky.
Yeah.
It was clear. It was such a weird, beautiful
It was really
time.
weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What a strange thing.
The air was clean.
Yeah.
Like there was no noise.
Do you know?
It was crazy.
I had COVID in October of 2020 before there were any vaccines. But I felt fine, but I had it.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week. And somebody told me, go out and take walks, get outside. So I did, but occasionally, like a neighbor who was 80 would walk up beside me and I'm like, get away from me. But I couldn't. But I didn't want to tell him I had COVID because it's like, what kind of a-hole are you to be out? Like, he'd say to me, you asshole.
This ain't real.
You know? Well, I thought he'd be mad because I was out spreading my germs around. I never know. You don't know how to treat that. But I don't like that McDonald's is taking away their drinks.
I don't either. And I like I said, I think it's got nothing to do with COVID. I think it has people just trying to abuse the system.
Do you think, though, that so many people now just order it online or through the app or through the drive-thru that there's no need to have it out there?
That too.
There's no need to have it.
Yeah.
Which is too bad. And they also used to have that thing. This is impolitic. They used to call it a suicide, where you would, the suicide drink?
I loved suicides, yeah.
You like the suicide?
I used to get suicides all the time as a kid, man.
You can't say it anymore.
I don't know why.
Well, the word suicide.
I get it, but I'm just saying, I'm going to go drink a suicide. Is that really, offensive? Whatever.
They used to call... Oklahoma used to play Texas every year.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, it was called the Red River Shootout. Okay. And they had to stop that because the word shootout was wrong. So then they called it the Red River Rivalry. So that's what they call it now, which is harder to say. And I think they've even changed it to something else because even rivalry was a little too much. But shootout, you can't say. They called it the Red River Shootout because they played it next to the Red River every year. Oklahoma and Texas, they don't play it anymore. They don't do it.
Whatever, can't have nothing.
You can't have
nothing, dude.
So they used to at McDonald's, you could go make a suicide because you'd have every single drink, and you go, no, they won't do that anymore.
Now you can't even ask for it. No. People are going to try to, contain you or something.
There's something else they call that instead of suicide, but it's the same thing, but that word, of course, is off the table now. All right, now you've had time to think about it. Let's get back to your... To me, this is a good trivia question, and the question is, 2 different movies won Best Picture back-to-back years, both one-name movies, just the one name in the title, and the last 5 letters are the same. That's a good question.
That is a great question. I don't know it, but I have two. I'm either going to say one of them's Moonlight or one of them's Nomadland.
Okay, all right.
But I can't think of the second one for either one of those.
Okay, and Nomadland won.
I believe it did. It was that was a COVID.
It did win.
COVID thing. Yeah, that was a COVID year.
Have you seen it?
I never saw it.
I think it's good. I went into that kicking and screaming I'm not watching this crap.
Then Frances McDormand shit in a bucket or something like that.
She does, and it's artful.
Oh, really?
I don't like the way you said that. Yes, and it's I really thought it was really good.
I'm going to be pissed, but please tell me. I give up.
Moonlight, and Spotlight.
Oh, great movie.
Spotlight.
Beautiful movie.
Spotlight's one of the best movies of the last 10 years.
Yes.
I love that movie.
I can't argue with that.
It's a great movie, and they won in back-to-back years. I think it was 2014 and 15.
I knew that.
2014 and 15.
I used to know these.
Well, you did pretty well on that. You're very into movies.
There's a question that got brought up to me the other day. This is off topic. I want to ask you.
Yes.
Would you ever go to space?
I don't even get a plane.
Bad question.
Did you not hear?
Bad question.
No.
But I mean, even for the opportunity to go to space, you wouldn't go to space.
No.
Even if it was free, here's a trip to space.
No.
We're going to go up and come right back down.
I find everything I've ever done, like going on a plane to Europe and seeing this or whatever, anticlimactic. When it's done, it's like, all right, I did it to see it, and now it's I'd rather lay on a beach somewhere than do any of that stuff. I just want to relax.
Are you that jaded? You can't like appreciate things like?
Yeah, I'm that jaded. That's
really?
Right. Yeah. I appreciate it when I see it for the beauty of it, but later, I mean, I've seen the Mona Lisa, and it's like, okay, it's very nice.
That's so.
But why is the Mona Lisa any better than the painting right next to it? You know, it's just because we put it that way in our mind.
I don't know, man.
Now, I'll tell you what I'd like to see: the Grand Canyon. I would like to see the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
You're
making fun of me?
No, I'm not.
Are you making fun of me?
No.
Okay. Did I tell you about this?
No.
Okay, so I went to Arizona a few months ago, right?
Yeah, all right. To see the baseball game.
So me and my
that's
dad.
Another thing I like to see is classic baseball stadiums.
Okay.
All right.
So me and my dad were like, do we go to the Grand Canyon while we're out there?
Right.
And if we got there, it would have been a 3-hour drive there and a 3-hour drive back, and we couldn't justify it.
You would not.
Could not justify it.
Now that I would probably have done.
So we ended up playing golf instead of going to the Grand Canyon.
Well,
and then I get a whole bunch of crap from my friend who was there at the same time. He's like, it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. I'm like, yeah, but have you ever had Gus's fried chicken? Like, come on now.
I would. That's what I want to say. In fact, I say to my family about once every 2 or 3 years, because we usually do a vacation.
Yeah.
I'll say, let's go this year to the Grand Canyon, because I've never seen it. And they're like, no, let's just go to the beach. And so we wind up going to the beach. Another thing I'll tell you what I did. I may have told you this. When I went to Washington one time to see the monuments, which I do appreciate.
Very cool. Very cool.
I didn't care one thing about the Vietnam Wall. I think I told you this. And I didn't care about it because I had no connection to it at all. Then when I saw it, it was the most powerful moving thing I've ever seen. It's the most powerful moving thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That memorial. One thing this country does well to me is memorials and structures like that. The Lincoln, the Jefferson, the Vietnam, the World War II, incredible.
So of all the things that you've seen, what's the one thing that really has you taken aback? Like, what's the one thing you're like, okay, that's...
Well, that's the one that...
Okay, I guess that was it. Yeah.
That's probably it, because I think I hadn't built it up in my mind. Like, I saw the Eiffel Tower, and that was great.
Yeah.
And I was on top of the World Trade Center and the Empire State, but that kind of thing, a lot of touristy stuff. I'll tell you this: I was in Italy and saw the Sistine Chapel, the ceiling.
See, that would be crazy to me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
that blew me away. Now that was something.
I think people don't. The one thing I do know about the Sistine Chapel is it's not just the creation of Adam.
Incredible.
Like, I think people really underestimate how big it is and like how detailed it is.
Meanwhile, the Mona Lisa is small and like, okay, and you've seen it 1,000 times, so it's like, all right, it's nice. I've stood there, but the Sistine Chapel, jeez, that's amazing. That and that's in is that in Florence? No, that's in Rome. But I was in Florence, and they have the statue of David. Now, I was eating pizza in this town square, and there's a statue of David. Now, it's not the real one.
For sure,
him, you know? And so we were, our group,
cool.
So I'm looking at it like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So we're looking at it, and our group decides not to see David. We're like moving on to Rome.
Okay.
And a woman overhears us, a tourist, and she said, oh my God, you're in Florence. You must see David. And we were like, I don't know. And she goes, for God's sake. She was American. She goes, for God's sake. You're in Florence. You must see David. So we wait in line 2 hours. We pay our money. We go in. We see it. It looks exactly like the thing. Exactly. So it's, I mean, I know it's the real one versus the fake one, but for God's sake, I mean, we spent all that time, and that was a bit overrated.
Yeah,
to me,
I see. I don't know, man. I think stuff like that, like seeing the Mona Lisa, would be cool.
It's cool. It's like you've done
like
it.
Da Vinci. Like I'm just into that. I love art.
Well, what have you seen that is the best for you? For me, it was the Vietnam Wall.
Honestly, bro, getting off the subway at 161st Street in the Bronx and looking up and seeing Yankee Stadium,
the existence.
Like, pretty amazing. That was crazy.
I've done that.
Like, being in Yankee Stadium for like the national anthem was really cool. I'll tell you one of the coolest things I've ever been to. It was at the Ryder Cup. No, it was the President's Cup in 2017. I was there, and we were at the first tee box.
Yep.
And you're familiar with Barstool Sports?
Oh, yes.
The guys from Barstool Sports were in the crowd with us.
Yeah.
And they all got up at one time and told everybody to stand up, and everybody in unison sang the national anthem.
Nice.
It wasn't even played. It wasn't even planned.
Well, that gives me chills.
Yeah. Everybody was just like, they were like, stand up. Yeah. And then everybody started singing it together. It was...
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. It was super cool.
I was at the U.S. Open. This was 1999. Payne Stewart won it in that incredible... I was on the green.
Oh,
that was pretty good. I mean, I was, 100 feet from him when he won that. I mean, if some pictures you can see me in the crowd.
Yeah, no way.
And Yeah, and I walked by Tiger Woods like as close as me, and he just had a look on his face. That was pretty awe-inspiring. To see people like that is pretty good. Have you been to Fenway Park?
I have been to Fenway Park.
You like that?
I like Fenway Park. I'm too big to go to Fenway Park.
It's the seats.
I'm too fat to sit in those seats.
You're too fat for Fenway.
Yeah, too fat for Fenway. Yes.
Your goal should be to get in a seat in Fenway Park because you're too fat for Fenway. Those old stadiums don't fit you. You're too wide for Wrigley, and you're too fat for Fenway.
See, I went to Wrigley a couple years ago, and we were sitting up there.
I've not been to Wrigley. I hear it's great.
Wrigley's cool.
You like Fenway or Wrigley better?
I like Fenway better.
Really?
Yeah, Fenway is better.
I'd love to go to Wrigley.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like. Obviously, I hate the Red Sox, but I'm not.
I know. I hate the Yankees, but I appreciate Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
I appreciate Yankee Stadium. The old one's better than the new one.
See, I've only been to the new one. I didn't get to go to the old one, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know. The new one is great. It's just I think Camden Yards a beautiful park.
Great place. Beautiful man. That one was the first, we're going to start having fun with this, you know.
And they did it in the late 80s, and it's still a great park.
Beautiful place to go.
That was like throwback to the old school because between Fenway Park and then Wrigley Field, and then it had been just like toilets.
Exactly.
Multi-use stadium.
Big troughs. Yeah.
You should start your own podcast by yourself and call it Too Fat for Fenway. And make it a goal to sit in the Fenway Park seats. Yeah?
Because the one time I went, my uncle, he works in Boston, so we got some of his company seats, and we were really low. Yes. Got to see Roy Halladay pitch, which was pretty sick.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we were we were on the lower level. I know, God. Yeah, we were on the lower level, man. But this is when I was 15, so I was smaller at the time,
could fit,
but I was still a little too wide.
No, I know how that is. I mean, believe me, I've been too fat for Fenway.
Yeah,
it's nice to be able to fit.
Yeah, it's cool. Lovely place, though.
This has been a wonderful 30 minutes with you. Yeah. I look forward to it every week.
Absolutely,
the two of us getting together.
It's good to get to know you. I feel like I'm breaking down some barriers with you. Yeah,
and I've had no hot takes, but still, to get to know each other.
Absolutely.
The Square and the Round podcast. Now, if you like it, what do? Tell friends, share it.
It's on YouTube, which I just learned. Also, we are on Apple Podcasts now, which is nice. We're getting there. We're working on Spotify and stuff. But you can find us on YouTube. We are also on Facebook as well. You can follow us there.
Look at this. All I do is come in here and talk.
Exactly. That's it. And I handle the rest of it. But we can be seen. So
have a great week. We're back in here next week.
Right.
Square and the Round.